most important thing we published today is an 18.3% total capital ratio. Bank has never had that high capital before. So that's the key point from the results. That's supported by 15.4% common equity tier 1, and it's also supported by other balance sheet repair. So key points from that, and I think these are important points, much more so than what the result for a period was. It's more important that the bank's strength and stability is focused on. 11 billion of ELA when we started, 6 billion of liquidity today, 4.4 billion of actual surplus liquidity sitting on the bank's balance sheet. We have NPLs down by almost 70%, 68% reduction in NPLs since we started, down from 15 billion to 4.8 billion. We have a loan to deposit ratio of 65%. So I would encourage people to focus on the quality and strength of the balance sheet, supported by quality and strength of capital and liquidity. The noise in the P&L as you drive a fix in a bank is always noisy. So 140 million of underlying real profitability in the bank, distorted by driving speed in repair. So, we could go on, I could spend my life talking about numbers, but focus on the strength of the balance sheet, focus on the strength of liquidity, focus on the progress being made, and discuss anything else around that. So when we started this journey, I started this journey at the end of November, early December 2013. The bank had capital of 10%. It now has 18.3. It had minus 11 billion of emergency funding. It now has plus 6 billion of cash. We had a bank in Romania, we had a bank in Ukraine, in Russia, we had a hedge fund of hedge funds, we owned a UK bank. We were all over the place. We now have a Cyprus bank. We were reliant on the emergency funding because we didn't have enough deposits. We've grown our deposits by 6 billion since we started. We had capital controls in place, both domestically and internationally. We had fixed deposits trapped in the bank, not being released. All of that is gone, all of that went quickly, and the bank today has grown its trust scores hugely. We've grown market share in almost all of our products, in fact, all of our products, I think, without exception. We have half the branches we started with. We have 40% less people when the two organizations came together. We have a single IT system working on a proper active environment. We have digital now being invested. And we have an investor base that is in fact actually focused on the value of the company rather than the rumors of the company. Well, I would hope that we're drawing a proper conclusion to chapter 1. That you're always in a chapter, and I will have done a 6-year chapter. I think that's a reasonable contribution of my life to Bank of Cyprus, and I think it is in a strong place to go forward. We have laid the foundations for what I believe to be the most important things forward. Finish the job on balance sheet repair. We have to take the NPLs down further so that we can say this is done. We have to finish the digitization of the bank so our customers actually can operate in a modern paradigm using our bank. And we also just need to make sure we don't keep gathering liquidity that we can't deploy. If you put those 3 things in place, you've got a cost structure that delivers a bank that has value. Well, I think the lows of having my car set on fire outside my house is probably the low. I don't think that was a pleasant experience for anyone to go through. It was an expression of anger from misguided and foolish people, but c'est la vie. But not a nice thing to have happen outside your house, and then being left with the memory of a burnt tree outside your house for a while it regrew. That was a little unpleasant. Look, we had a rocky start. We had to raise equity when the people who owned the bank were represented on the board, and they were quite rightly saying why we've already lost an enormous amount of our wealth in the recapitalization of this bank. And one of my first acts was to say, you have not recapitalized this bank properly. We have to go and raise more equity. That was a trying experience. Listing on the London Stock Exchange was a very positive experience. Lifting the capital controls was a very positive experience. There have been ups and downs, but I kind of don't think of it as that. I'm very outcome focused. We must make progress over time. We must build trust. We must actually look back on the things we've done, not keep promising the things we might do. And I think that's a matter of management focus. I've been repairing other people's mistakes for a decade, so I'm kind of used to this. There is always a succession plan, which then needs to be validated in reality. So there are internal candidates on that plan, and there will be no doubt an external search to complement it, and the best candidate will be chosen. I won't be choosing the candidate. This is the chairman and incoming chairman's job to run that process. I'm sure there are. I couldn't possibly comment on those things, because next thing it'll be a massive discussion in Cyprus society. Look, there are highly qualified, competent executives in the bank, and there are highly qualified, competent executives out with the bank. And the process will determine who is the best team to run the bank. Look, there's a human aspect, and there's a sort of a as it happens aspect. So let's start with the human aspect. The first thing is when I came first, I said I would stay 3 to 5 years. I then said to my family, if you come to Cyprus, I might stay a bit longer. So we enrolled 2 of our children in the school in Nicosia, the American school in Nicosia. And my daughter, who's 17, who clearly was the key one in that, because we also had an 11-year-old who was happy to go and was relaxed about it. She panicked at half term and thought, this isn't working for me. So we put her back into the school she was in before. That, of course, left me in a large house with no family, and like the Mary Celeste of homes, where they had literally just gone. And that's trying on for a family that's 1,600 miles away. And so that naturally dislodged my intention to be here forever. That was not something I could do. Second thing is, when you do that, you start to listen to incoming calls. I do get the odd incoming call about, would you like to do this or this or this? And I have an opportunity now in the UK to do something commercial that I would like to have a go at. And that has coincided with this timing. So it is a combination of a family that's too far away and a long time away from them. I've missed my first daughter's entire secondary school by being in Cyprus, and I'm just about to miss my second daughter's entire secondary school by being in Cyprus. And I think anyone who cares about family will know that that's a difficult thing to do. So, and that combined with the fact that I have been approached to do something in the UK that I find exciting, at a moment when I think we can say a chapter of work has been done in Cyprus, is the reason I'm leaving. We have to put pay to these ridiculous rumors that circulate in Cyprus about why people are doing what they're doing. It does seem to me that we just need to focus on the facts, which is why I focused you on the facts in the first question, which is, the bank is strong, it has a plan, it is clear, it is dramatically stronger than it was before. And the inconvenient truth for our competitors is we are strong and better at competing than we were when we started. And look, I think that we need to not take 1 + 1 and make it 11, as is often the case in the Cyprus rumor mill.